Hey guys, welcome back to Creativity and Inspiration. How's everyone doing? I hope you're having an amazing day. Today I have a great video for you. We are doing book plates and I'm going to give you some new ideas. So let's just jump into this video. It's a good one. I think you're going to love it. But before we do, don't forget, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button with that little bell because we have a lot more videos coming your way and I would hate for you to miss out. Also, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. That really will help my channel grow. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you at the end. Alright guys, this was all inspired because of these book plates. And these are some that I got in a box, and I'm going to share the contents of that box with you guys very, very soon because it's something very exciting. But anyway, those book plates inspired this video. And I got to thinking, what if you don't have nice little metal book plates? And what if you don't want to go buy them because you only maybe need them for one thing? One image, or one book or one project, and you just don't want to get a whole lot. What can you do? So these are my ideas for you on what you can do if you don't want to, buy some. So I got to thinking, what could you make book plates out of if you didn't want to buy a whole thing? And they don't come just like this. You can buy just a little envelope full, but still like 3 or 4 book plates. So what can you do? How can you create your own? And I've got several ideas here, and we're gonna start with the most basic, most simple ways. And that is one from a piece of cardboard. This is the back of a spiral notebook, or some fabric. Either one of these ways. And I think we'll just start really basic with our piece of cardboard. And what we would do is we would figure out what shape we wanted, cut the shape out. So I'm just going to go rectangle for sake of demonstration because I have quite a few that I would like to show you. Okay, so this would be my shape, and then I would come in and cut out the center as well. So I would just do it and this is the most basic way you could make a book plate. Not a lot of thought, fuss, or muss is going into this, but in the end, I will have a book plate. Oh, and there you go. I have a book plate. That's the most basic way you can do it. Then you would back it with a piece of white paper and write the information made by Lisa, or created journal by Creativity and Inspiration, something like that. But that's boring and that's not very cool looking, but that's the simplest version. If you were in a hurry and you just wanted a book plate, that's the easiest thing to do. Another super simple idea is to take a piece of fabric, and I'm using this is an outdoor fabric, so it's kind of heavier. And again, I'm going to cut a rectangle, but I'm going to make it a little bigger. Just remember, a lot of mine I make bigger just so they show up well on camera. Of course, you would size down to whatever size you want. Let's stitch around the edges, and we're going to add some of our cheesecloth as well. So I'm going to cut just a piece of cheesecloth. I don't want a very big piece because I want this pretty fabric to show. And then this plain cotton fabric is going to be what we stamp on. So I'm going to go ahead and measure out a little piece, or write on. You don't have to stamp, you can just write. Again, I'm just doing very basic shapes, but we're going to get to more interesting shapes in just a moment. Because the cardboard book plate I just showed you and this fabric one are the most basic, simple ones that you could do, especially if maybe you made a gift for somebody, you're on your way out the door to the party and you realized, oh, you didn't put made by or do a nice little book plate and you need to do something really quickly. These are really fast options. Okay, and let's go sew all this down really quick. I'll be right back. And there we go. Now you could come in here and you could stamp on it. You could stamp just, if your symbol is maybe like a little honeybee, you could put a little, stamp a little hive with honeybee, whatever. But that is two very basic, very simple, very easy to make book plates, and it would save you a lot of money. You don't have to go out and buy anything. But what if your journal is a special journal, or maybe you have time to do something more? What can you do? How can you elevate it? Well, there's a couple of ways. First way is to use something kind of unexpected. You could use packaging. And especially if it's like somebody that likes to recycle, or your journals are all true junk journals, then using a piece of packaging to create a book plate is the logical next step. For this one, what I would do is I would take my handy dandy scissors and I would cut up to where it hung on the rack. You know, this is from Dollar Tree. And there I have a nice sized book plate. If you wanted somebody to know it was junk, you could leave it there. Of course, you could cover it with scrapbook paper, fabric, whatever. Now, some really fun things to use are playing cards. This is a playing card. I would cut out the Jack guy in the center, and that will be our book plate. So again, I fold everything when I'm just cutting out the center. You might have a better way to do it. And I'm not going to go all the way to the edge because I want some of the card in the center to show too. And it's big enough that I can do that, and I'll still have plenty of room to stamp made by or the name of my journal. You know, if it's a nature walk, if it's a vacation journal, I might put like vacation to the Grand Canyon and date it, or vacation 2024. So there's another way. I like that. I think it's really cool. I would dress it up, but I wouldn't cover it up. Another cool one is 4 tickets. They came this way. There's the fold in the center. How cool is that? And since the hole is in the center, I'm gonna use that to kind of cut out my space, but I have to be careful because I don't want to break the attachment. So we're gonna go right there. And again, I'm picking where I cut. If If you wanted to cut all the way to the red end, you could. You don't have to. Because I want the fact that they're a ticket to kind of still show through. Plus, I want them to stay connected. That could be a book plate. How fun is that? And remember to save all of your centers, because you may want to use them as tabs in your journal, and then it kind of ties your book plate in more. Lastly is this time card. I just thought that's a cool way to make a book plate. And just cut out a center of the time card as well. So let's see here. Now, let's do this with a time card. We've been doing the square shape, but what if we want to change our shape up some? That's easy to do too. You just take your scissors and cut your shape. I'm gonna put one of these, like, I don't know, I call them speech shapes in. I kind of messed it up, but that's okay. One side's perfect and one side's messed up. It's the same side. And then to cut our center out, we do the same thing. Other cards you could use are flashcards. Would be good to make book plates. They're very stiff. And I think a book plate needs to be stiff. Maybe not to you guys, but to me. And then there is just a different type of book plate. Remember, they don't have to be all rectangles. They can be any shape that you want. Oops. Okay, but those are good, Lisa. We like those, especially the ticket and the card one, but what else you got? Well, what if we make them shiny? You could use shiny scrapbook paper to make one, or you could get some shiny wrapping paper, either modern or vintage. This is vintage, but how pretty would that be? Now, is this thin? Yes, this is thin. So if you're going to use something thin like a wrapping paper, you might want to use a cardstock behind it to give it some strength, or a piece of cardboard. But you can definitely make ones that are shiny. And you can make more oval ones. And if you have any hole punches that you want to make one out of, by all means use your hole punch. But you could make an egg-shaped one. And again, there's a shiny one. No, that's all good. That's all paper, and those are nice, right? We like those. But I've got some that are a little unusual for you now. What if you used burlap? That would make a really cool. I forgot to mention, if you don't want to buy a big roll of burlap, burlap ribbon is the perfect size. You could cut a book plate out of the ribbon And then you have a lot of different colors at your fingertips as well. And it's a lot cheaper. Again, because it's fabric, it is a stiff fabric, but you might want to back it with, say, a piece of cardboard just to give it a little more structure. But burlap is an option. Vinyl or sticker paper from Cricut is always an option. And then it will just stick to your book page. But the last material we're going to talk about to use is cork. How cool would that be to make a book plate out of? And it's super simple, just like all those were. You just cut a shape, and for this one, to save time, I'm just going to cut my rectangle, but you know, you can cut any shape you want. I'm going to cut it a little short, and then I'm going to, oops, okay. With this one, you have to be careful because the cork will break if you fold it. So with this one, because the cork is soft, I just poked my scissor through it. And then you just trim out the center. Now what is this cork? These are cork squares. You can get these off Amazon. I'll link them down below if you're interested. Okay, and there you go. There is a cork one. It is a sticker on the back. So to put it on your page, you would just peel the sticker off and you would put your paper behind it. You could sticker it on 3 sides and slide a card down in there. You could do that with all these except for the fabric one. So I love the way that looks. But what if all you have is, say, this is pink, but it's white on one side. What if you only have white cardstock or white piece of paper or white tag? What can you do? I'm going to show you. I'm going to cut this one off there. And I'm going to cut the center. But you don't want it to look white, right? You want it to look like leather, maybe. I'm going to show you a trick to make it look like leather. But let me get the... Now you can also, like I had that sheet of burlap, that roll of burlap, you can buy leather sheets in little squares or rolls. So you could actually buy leather if you wanted to do leather. But again, with things so high, let's just say we just have a piece of white paper. Let me get some of these out of the way. And we want to make it this white book page, this white book plate look like leather. I'm going to show you a couple of ways you can do that. Of course, we're going to use paint, and there's a lot of options. Now again, these are kind of dark. These are almost black, but a lot of them are black with a little brown going through them. So one, you could just get gold sparkly paint and paint them gold if it goes with your journal. There's also a copper metallic. You could paint it copper. Or there's like a vintage copper if you wanted to give it a metallic vintage copper look. Okay, those are all paints. These are 98. Well, the metallics I think are $1 something. But the paints are $1. Yeah, the metallics are $1.98. The regular paints are 98 cents. So I'm going to show you how to get a leathery look with brown and some orange. And then we're going to take these brads that look like jean studs, whatever you call them, rivets, that look like rivets. And we're going to put these in each of the 4 corners. So let's do that really quick. Okay, once you get the brown layer down, then you come in with your orange while it's still wet. And you just kind of streak it in and kind of blend it in. And if you need more brown, add in more brown. And you kind of mix it till you get the color of whatever you think your piece of leather will look like, okay? Because everybody has different experiences with the leather. And leather can look many different ways. There can be dark leather, light leather, orangey leather, more brown leather. So you kind of have to go with what you think leather looks like. And just play with it till you get to that happy spot in your vision. And I'm going to come in. In the brads, you can do 2 ways. If you want to poke them through each corner and have them be a brad, that's fine. That's perfectly a great option. Or you can just break the brad parts off or cut them off with a pair of scissors or wire cutters and glue just the heads on. And be careful because that went fine, but then you just put them on. Actually, I think I'm gonna poke them through. I changed my mind. Figures, right? Shoot. Get my owl, A-W-L, which is what I use to poke all my little holes with. And then just poke it through. And there you go. And that looks like leather. I'm going to do the other corners really quick. A good thing with brads, you can move their little arms around to fit the space where you're putting them. And last one. I'll throw that one away. You could definitely cut them off. I just didn't cut it flat enough. So and these brads that I'm using are from Amazon. So I'll link them down below in case you want to make And you can make like leather looking pages with this process. You can make, like I'm doing a blue jean journal. These are going to be used in the journal, like the studs on your jeans or the rivets. So anyway, so there's that one too. Now, what if you wanted to put little designs in it? Well, all you would do is go in and layer it on something soft so you could press down into the paper without actually poking a hole through it and make indentions. And you could do that with your healing cutting mats. Go in and press shapes in and then go back over it with our paint treatment, which was just brown and orange paint, and you would have an imprinted design as well. So guys, that is a bunch of different ways that you can make book plates just using what you have, or getting a cool material like cork or leather, or making your own. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video and these ideas for an affordable option for book plates without having to buy a bunch of book plates you might not use, or you might not want that same kind. Anyway, if you like the video, be sure and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget, leave me a comment down below. Which way was your favorite way? The leather looking book plate? The cork book plate? Just using the fabric? Which one was your favorite, and which one are you going to try? And again, if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button with that little bell. We have a lot of great videos coming, and I don't want you to miss out. Thanks for being here, and thanks for supporting my channel. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.